Okay. Okay. So those two things are required, and I already prepared one video how to install. Please, I will share that video in that group, right? And please follow that, and install that as per the instruction. Okay, clear instructions are there in that. So if you are facing any issues, just let me know. Okay, guys. So let's see how to start a Java project. Okay, once you open this IDE, the Java ID would be Eclipse ID would be like this. Okay, guys. So go to File. Okay, this is a file, right? File and New. Okay, so Project. Okay, New Project. Click on the project, and initially we are learning basic Java. That's why we are choosing Java project. When we are making automation project, we will go for Maven project. Okay, but now we are going for Java project to start our basics. Okay, guys, just remember this one. This is the recorded session. You can watch the video a number of times. We have our channel, right? In the channel, I will post the video. Okay. So create the project and give some project name. Java batch 3. Okay, guys, and save and say finish. Discouraged by convention names usually lowercase. Okay, so Java 3. Okay, so this is how we need to create the project. Okay, how do we create the project? Java project. Go to File, New, say Project. Okay, when you click on the project, you will get this kind of window, and select Java project. Okay, and give some name in lowercase. Okay, guys. So the project will be created. Is it clear now? How to create the Java project? Anyhow, for reference video is there. Just watch the video. And now we are creating one class file. Java in the sense object oriented programming language, right? Everything, whatever the thing you want to do, everything you should do you should create a class. Okay, without class, outside of the class, you are not going to write a single line of code. Okay, so that's why we said it is Java is a object oriented programming language. We always will deal with class and object. How many variants we can create the objects for the class? That is the only thing we are going to learn. Okay, so I have one class, I have some functions in the class, another class is there, that class also will have some functions, but this class needs some functions from that class. How we can pull all those things we are going to learn. So that's why we said Java is a object oriented programming language. Everything class and objects. So first we are trying to create one class. Okay, so our class name is Java main launch. Okay, is one project, and whenever I am saying main, so this is the execution engine. If I start public static void main, I am choosing, while creating the class, I am choosing this public static void main, means Okay. We should not write directly classes. We should write the class. First we need to create the package. Okay. Package. Package. Anybody having the idea what is package? Package. What is the package? Any idea? Any guess?
Collection of classes.
Yes. Collection of classes. We are going to create the classes, right? So all classes we are making a collection into one package. So if you know the package, right, others can access all classes from that package. Okay. So Java class here. What is the class name? Main. Okay. Main. I am saying launch. LAUNCH. Start with uppercase. Main. Okay. All the class names should start with. And I am saying public static void main. Okay. This one. So now I got a class. Okay. First listen. This is the syntax for class. To create a class, you are not creating that syntax. Okay. But you just remember how to create a class. Okay. So this is the syntax for class. What is the syntax? Access modifier. Okay. And class is the keyword. Always it is not going to change. Class keyword and any name. Okay guys, and open bracket, close bracket. Is this same or not? So this is the access modifier. Means I created one class, whether that class is available for all others or not. I have some other class. So other class wants this class. So whether shall I give the access about this class or not? Right? That is the access modifier. Based on the access modifier, we will decide whether this class, others can have the access for this class or not. Other classes can have the access for this class or not. Right? Public. Public is the access modifier. Public in the sense, what is the meaning of public? Anybody can have the access to that particular class. Right? Private. Private in the sense, nobody can have the access. Private property, right? You have your private property. So are you going to share with anyone? You have some privacy, right? So you are not going to share with anyone. So if you don't want to share, what you should do? Give the private access modifier. What is that? Private. If I give private, nobody will access this class. Okay. That is the private access modifier. Third one is the protected. Okay. Protected keyword. Protected in the sense, you have couple of friends. So you can share between your friends, not others. You are not going to share. It is not public property. You have something you want to share with your friend. Yes, you can share it. So that is the protected access modifier. Right? We have 3 access modifiers. What is that? Protected, private, public. Public, private, protected. These are the 3. Right? Is it clear to everyone? Ravi Kumar, is it clear to you?
Okay, sir.
We discussed about 3 access modifiers. Why we require the access modifier? Because we are creating one class. In my class, I have a lot of functions, Whether I want to share my functions to other guy, Ravi Kumar and Venkateswar Rao. These are just assume two classes. Ravi Kumar has some functions and he wants to share with Venkateswar Rao and others. If you want to share, what you should do? His class must be public. Okay? If it is public, you can share with anyone. Okay? If it is private, you are not going to share with anyone. That is the private access modifier. Restricting the access to others. How? By using the access modifier. Okay, boss? 3. Public, private, protect. Okay, that's it. And the class keyword. And this is the class name. Okay. This class name you can give any name as your wish. But what is the main purpose of the class? Based on the purpose, decide the name. Okay. Okay. So any name you can give. For example, anybody can tell me somebody. Okay. Venkateswar, can you tell me Venkateswar, right? Okay. Can you tell me one more example for class? Now we discussed about the syntax, right? Just if I ask some other class, can you tell me? Just try. Okay, this is first class. I can understand. Just try from your end. Venkateswar, sorry.
Yeah, sir.
Yeah.
Sir.
Just tell me how to create another class. Just follow this syntax. This I said right here. If you remember this, that's it. You can create the class. Tell me. First, what you should use? First, you should have package. That is okay. Already I have created a package. Now I am directly creating the class. Okay.
Access modifier. Yeah.
Access modifier. What is the access modifier I should give?
Public class.
After that, what is there?
Keywords. Class name.
Class is the keyword. This is the class.
Keyword.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is not going to change. Okay. Then any name. For example, I want to maintain. I am writing ATM central functionality. ATM point.
Yes.
Okay. So open bracket, close bracket. This is the creation of the class. Is it easy or not? If you remember these 3 lines, this syntax, you can create any class. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So for this class, whenever you are creating object, at the time only the memory would be allocated in the system. When the memory is going to be allocated in the system? When you are trying to create an object creation, we can say, right? I have a class, I have a car. Just assume car is a class. Or you have a bird class, right? So class is nothing but just one template until you are not using that class. Okay, once template in the sense you have very beautiful functions are there, very heavy functions or very simple functions, you have something in a class. But if you want to use that class, you must create the object. Means you have a car, boss, but the car is very beautiful car. You purchased with 1 crore or 2 crores car. The cost of the car is 1 crore car, right? That is there in front of your house. Until you won't drive, there is no use, right? The same way, you have class. You have class with a number of functionalities are there. How to maintain your ATM center. All the functionalities. How to withdraw amount. How to deposit amount. Okay. How to check how to change the PIN number. All the functionalities are available in your ATM center. But until you are not going to use, that is just a class, right? So to use, someone would be required. that is nothing but u, that u is nothing but an object, right? So you have a car, you need a driver, otherwise it is just dummy piece, whether it is the car cost is 1 crore or 2 crore, right? So what we need to do, we need to create a object for that particular class, right? So for example, this is the class. If you remember, if you say how to create the object, syntax for object, just only remember the syntax, life would be very easier. So ATM, this is a class name, okay? Syntax of the object is class name. What is the class name here? ATM point, okay? OBJ, any variable you can give. This is the variable name. And say new. Whenever you said new, the memory for this class, memory would be created in your RAM. In your system, memory would be created. This is the object creation. Okay. So for example, now follow this and tell me how to create the object. Who will tell? Ravi, can you tell how to create the object? My class is ATM. My class name is ATM. Tell me the syntax to create the object. Ravi, are you able to hear me? Okay. Ravi? No? Who will tell? Priyanka? Priyanka? No? Am I audible, right? Nobody is responding. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shravani, tell me the syntax to create the object. This is the syntax. Follow the syntax and create the object. My class is this one. ATM class. Yeah.
Class name is ATM, sir.
Very good.
And object, if I take withdraw as object, equal to.
Okay. Okay. Any name you can say. Withdraw. ATM only say. ATM point or something. Okay.
Okay.
Withdraw is a function. Okay. Okay.
And
new. And
ATM again.
ATM. This is my class name. And open bracket, close bracket, ends with semicolon. Okay, every statement should ends with semicolon. Okay.
Semicolon.
So this is the object creation, syntax for object creation. So now you should know 2 points. How to create a class, how to create an object. Is it clear to everyone? And then we will go ahead with the variables. Okay. So when the memory is allocated, it is very important point. When the memory is allocated for the class, you write n number of code, okay, in that class, no problem. But memory would be allocated when you are creating object and you say new. Whenever you say new, the object is created. The memory is allocated for all the variables, all the content, whatever the content you have in your class file. Okay. So memory is everything. If you write something, it will occupy some memory. Yes or no? Yes. Everything, if you write single line, that single line requires some memory. Right? That memory. For example, you have your mobile phones. You want to store video. Is it occupying some memory or not? That's right. The same way, your Java programs also, whatever the lines you have written, it must occupy the memory. It will occupy the memory. Okay. So, we will discuss. When the memory is created for that, whenever you are creating the object for that class. Okay. So, now you covered 2 topics or not from here? By following, if you are able to remember syntaxes, you can create the class, but it's just a template of the class. You didn't return any functions, that's okay. But you covered what is a class and what is the object, how to create a class and how to create an object. And you covered access modifiers. Yes or no? Access modifier. You have 3 access modifiers. Public, private, protected. All those 3 you covered, right?
Yes, sir.
So, I think time is 8. I think, is it okay or do you want to continue here? Already 2 members left. Huh? Are you guys okay? Or do you want to go ahead with your task? Okay. I will give some introduction about the variables. Okay. Then we will finish. We will wind up today's call. Okay. So that is the object creation base. Now, first point in any programming language would start with variables. Okay. Why? What is a variable? Why we require variable? Right? These questions we need to understand. Okay. So, for example, all you are the students, right? You want to just assume you are a student, right? Just you want to maintain your information. You want to store your information in your computer or in your program. So to store the information, where we will store? Directly, we are not going to we are not storing the values directly. Okay. Okay. For example, one of the resources Venki. Okay. Another resource is Shavani. Another resource is Priyanka. Okay. Like this, I want to store these values, but I should not store the values directly. System won't allow you. Any programming language won't allow you. Any programming language, whether it is Java, C#, Python, any programming language, it won't allow you to store the values like this. Okay, guys? So, we have to assign these values to variable. To a variable. So, okay. What is the name? Variable name is the name. Okay. So, I want to store a value in key or student name, std name. Okay. Student name I am giving. Okay. This is the variable. What is that? What is the variable? If you want to store any values to the system, you will store those values in variable, right? And this variable occupies the memory. This variable and value combination will store in the memory. Okay. We have in memory, we have 2 types, stack and heap. Okay. So, here it will store the memory, but in memory you need to tell, right, everything in some bytes of memory it is required. If you want to store something, it requires some memory. How much memory is required? So I should not say whole memory, okay, or just one variable, take whole memory, I should not say, right? So how much is required? We should inform to the programming language, Java, JVM. Okay. So how we are going to decide? Based on this value. Okay. This is the string. This is the value I am storing in double quotes. That means the data type is string. Okay. Okay. So how I decide? I am storing my data in double quotes. That means It is a string and it is not a number, right? I want to store my name, or I want to store my address, home address. I want to store or some paragraph data, right? I want to write some paragraph and I want to store that paragraph in my memory, system memory. Then everything should go by variable, right? If you want to store something, only option, what is the option? Assign that something to variable. So variables are that much important role in any programming language. And one thing, if you know one programming language, you can do anything. And that too, if you know Java, you are master. You can do any other things, not only testing. Okay. So variable is that much important. Okay. Why we are using variables? Anybody? Prasad, can you tell me why we are using variables? What is the requirement of variable? Prasad?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what is the requirement of variable? Why we need variable?
Variables, we have to assign some values.
To store the values or assigning the values. Main purpose is to store the values.
Yes.
Okay. To store the values, we require the variables. So, but for my variable, how much memory I require? That would be decided based on the data type. Okay. So, every data type will have some, memory size would be there. The memory would be decided based on the data type. Clear? So, string, it will take 32 bits of 32 bits memory. Okay. Integer, it will take 32 bits of memory. Long, it will take 64 bits of memory. The size would be decided. Otherwise, if you giving for each and every variable hundreds and thousands of bits of data memory, it will be wasted, right? So, we will decide what is my value, right side. On the right side, what is my value, right? Based on that, okay, my value is in double quotes. Can you enable screen sharing? Okay, I got the screen sharing. Okay, just 2 minutes I will take. More than that, I am not going to take much time of you. I am going to end the session. Another 2 minutes. Okay, so this is the data type. So the data type would be decided based on the right side value. If right side, if you have double quotes, or if you want to store name or your house number, house address, right, not number, right, or if you want to write some paragraph, something, so everything you can store into string. Okay, based on the string, it will the memory will decide how much, JVM will decide how much memory is required for this guy. Okay, so that is the variable bus. Okay, in variable, why we said variable? Now I'll tell. Variable, the name itself it will tell you. you have one value in a variable. Initially, what is the value? Venki. Now, I can say, I can change to some other value, Pinky. The same student name, the same variable. I am changing. That's what variable. Variable in the sense, the value may change at any time. Okay? That is called variable. Now you have clear understanding what is a variable, what is the purpose of the variable, right? So that is the variable. Okay, we will discuss other things in tomorrow's class. Okay, we have Elite Automation Test channel, YouTube channel is there. So this video would be posted in that YouTube channel. I will share that link in our group. You please like and subscribe that channel. So whenever I posted the video, it would be on your YouTube list. So you can watch that video on that day. Okay, I am stopping the